Good morning, good evening, good everything in between. Welcome to the podcast Interleague Special. I'm your host, Jim Obernick, and I'm joined as always by Mr. Michael Beasley. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. Got my coffee and I'm ready to go.
Woo! And I'm joined also by Mr. Gabe Lerman. How you doing, Gabe?
Trying to get limber. I got a softball game tonight, and one of my usual teammates is injured, so I'm going to have to be playing some different positions on the diamond. A little bit more right field and third base than I'm used to.
Oh, okay. Well, right field's fun. I always like playing right field. Third base, though, I do not envy you. I never wanted to play third base ever in my life.
I've done it before. I've managed. It's been a while, and I'm rusty this season.
Well, we have big news for you, our viewers, today. The PL games are now being shown in Latin America and the Caribbean. So look for those on the One Baseball Network or onebaseball.com for dates and times. And all this is thanks to you guys who've helped show support and helped grow the channel. And hopefully we can bring them to even more spaces in the coming days. And we've also got some other big news, sort of PL team, English team wise. Gabe, how about you tell the viewers that?
If you've joined the last couple of midnight matinees, you may have noticed someone in the live chat who I've interacted with. Well, he passed a couple interviews, including with our Japanese cohorts. Matthew Seivert will be joining our team as a fourth member starting as soon as he's healthy. He's a little under the weather at the moment, so that's why he can't join our podcast today. He'll be showing up here on our midnight matinee broadcasts and even more, including recorded content on the channel once he's beaten this bug.
Yeah, I'm super excited to add another guy to our team. I haven't had the chance to talk to him voice-wise, but by text, he seems like a really fun guy. And yeah, he was also very interactive with the game. So that brings us to the main part of today's show, our Around the Horn segment, where we look at every team in the Pacific League from top to bottom, starting with, as always, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. They've been doing really well so far in Interleague. So far, tied for the Giants with 6-3 on top of the league standings. But it has felt like, despite it's a really weird thing. You have a winning week, but it feels like a bad week because on the one hand, we are winning games. On the other hand, we have lost megastar Yuki Nagita to a muscle injury in his right thigh, and he is out for pretty much the rest of the regular season. He might be back for like the last couple games, and hopefully for the postseason. But yeah, major injury to a major star really sucks. And the injuries also don't stop there. Second baseman Masaki Mimori was also diagnosed with a dislocation of his index finger. He's out for 2 to 3 months. Yeah, and even record-wise, 6-3. While it sounds really good, we've like barely won the series against the Dragons, who are the worst team in the Central League. So like, I don't feel great. It's been like a weird, bad week for me as a Hawks fan. But it's not all doom and gloom on the farm team. We have Tetsuro Yanagimachi's been doing really good on the farm this year, so at least we're having somebody who's in form on the farm system coming in to replace him. Again, that's just kind of typical Hawks, having someone ready to come up from the farm. But yeah, Gita being injured makes me sad.
I mean, Yanagimachi filled in brilliantly for Kurihara when he tore his knee ligaments and had to move from outfield to third base. So yeah, Yanagimachi, we're familiar with him. I'm pretty sure he's been in a couple of midnight matinees. No surprise that he's going to be able to come up and succeed.
Yeah, he's like a solid kind of like farmhand for the Hawks, who's always jumping between the farm and always been being like a fill-in player, but very solid, respectable player. So yeah, I'm not too fussed. Anyway, I've rambled long enough about that. Let's kick it over to the second place team, the team on the come up, beating everybody left and right, the Chiba Lode Marines. Take it away, Mike.
Yeah, so they've had a pretty good interleague so far, except for their series against Yomiuri. The first game they gave up 18 runs, including 11 of them in the third inning. It was a pretty comical game, especially when you watch you watch highlights and you don't know what the score beforehand, and you're just like, what's going on? When did this happen? The unbeaten streak ends at 15, but the Marines are still undefeated in extra innings so far. But yeah, they have a 4-3-2 record in Interleague. First team in NPB history to tie 4 consecutive games in the ninth to force extras. So hopefully they can continue that every time they're down. Just keep on winning, or just keep tying it so they get the extras instead of taking the loss. Ryo Yoshida gets registered to a full contract after being on a developmental contract for 7 months, so good for him, former Buffalo there. In terms of just Marines in general, I finally entered a phase in my day job where I stopped caring and I just stream NPB replays. So I've just been doing that the entire
Oh
time.
yeah, man.
No one has said anything so far, so they must be fans too, secretly. They're probably watching the live streams. On that Giants series, Atsuki Tanaichi pitched the second game, and it was a great game. He went 8 innings, got 9 Ks, 4 hits, 3 walks. He's having a really good year this year and leads the team in WAR with 1.7. Right below him is Roki Sasaki with 1.5, according to Delta Graphs at time of recording. They were 4-0 start in that game off a 3-run blast by Soto, and then they strung together some hits in the ninth before the bullpen got shaky and made it much closer than it should have been. On that home run though by Neftali Soto, it was a really weird home run because he hits it, and you can tell he hits it hard, and he does the bat drop, and he starts walking to first, and while watching it, and I'm like, this must be like dawn gone, and then it like barely cleared the wall, and I was just like, that is a very confident man right there.
I'm
Because it
not
was like,
saying that the balls are dead in this season, but
for
I'm
sure.
not saying it.
But I was just like, gee, I mean, he was in Yokohama for all those years, so he's been at Tokyo Dome a lot, but like, dude, that thing, like if the wall was shorter, the outfielders would have had a play on it. That's how like close it was.
Wow.
Like it was so weird. I was like, dang, that is just off. But yeah, it was they're moving on to Hiroshima. But yeah, that first game against the Giants, I'd like to forget watching that. Especially letting out my audible what the hell's at work while watching those highlights.
And so that brings us over to the third place team, the Hokkaido Nippon Hand Fighters. Take it away, Gabe.
I mean, the Fighters and Marines are tied on record at this point. They're both 6 games back of the Hawks. It's just that I think based on either run differential or some other stat, most of the places I'm seeing have the Marines slightly ahead. So, yeah, sour grapes, I know. 4-4 in interleague so far. One of those games got rained out at Koshien, so it will be made up towards the end of the interleague period. Rough series against the Carp. They've been really holding their own at Mazda Zoom Zoom Stadium, Hiroshima. Yes, the Fighters shut him out 5-0. Koki Kitayama continues to be a boss, but then only 1 run scored over the last 2 games. They head to Jingu this weekend to play the Swallows before hosting the Dragons and Giants at Escon Field, Hokkaido. Very excited to see the team A back with the DH and B back in the home ballpark, which means we can watch on Pacific League TV. All Central League and no Pacific League makes Gabe something. I wanted to call out and offer kudos to Shun Mizutani, a rookie on the Fighters outfield who had his first career NPB home run in June 2nd's game at home against the Bay Stars. The crazy thing is, he actually hit one out of the park the previous at bat, but because it clanked off a railing and bounced back into the field of play, nobody thought to review it. I'm just glad he didn't have to wait too long to officially get on the board with his first NPB home run. Great start to the season for the active player draft selection. He was originally a SoftBank Hawk. So the Hawks continue to lose quality players. Let's not forget, Kotaro Otake went to the Tigers last season and now is a Japan Series champion. Speaking of the Tigers, you remember Tsuyoshi Shinjo's uniform swap when presenting lineup cards with the Tigers last week, right? I mentioned it on the podcast. Turns out he was violating NPB regulations when doing so. Thankfully, NPB Commissioner Sakaki Bada was kind enough not to punish him for breaking the uniform code. Hopefully he doesn't try and do that again. But
Yeah, let's not push the envelope on that.
Shinjo gonna Shinjo, you know? Equally fun during that Koshien series because Central League Ballpark means pitchers bat. Sachiya Yamasaki batted 6th in the lineup and even got an RBI single in his winning effort. If I'm not mistaken, Sachiya started his career as a shortstop, so it's not out of the question for him to swing the stick. You'd think, though, they'd bring up a guy like Kota Yazawa, who's a true two-way player, to really take advantage of the fact that there's no DH.
Yeah, you'd think if there was a time to use him, this would definitely be it. But, I mean, I guess it worked with Yamasaki batting 6. Man, that's such a flex, having your pitcher bat 6. I love that. But anyway, so that brings us over to the fifth place team, or no, the fourth place team, my apologies, are Rakuten Golden Eagles, Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, I should say. Take it away again, Gabe. Or that's Mike. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm Gabe now, but moving on. First series sweep of the season, beating the Tigers in three straight at Cochin. First sweep at Cochin in franchise history too. They are 7-2 in interleague, five back of a second and third tie. And it kind of goes into what I was saying at the start of interleague that it doesn't really give teams a break, but they get to stop seeing the same teams they see all the time, and maybe they can kind of get some of their confidence back, especially a team that's having like a bit of a rough go. Like I'm sure, sweeping the reigning Japan Series champions, it does wonders for a team's confidence, and especially for an offense that's, been kind of down recently. So, that's really good to see. Michael Franco became the first Eagles pinch hitter to hit a sayonara home run in franchise history, which that's kind of a shocking statistic right there, actually. But he did it on May 31st.
I mean, we were talking a while ago, like we were surprised that Michael Franco is still in the league. There he is, and oh, he's still demolishing baseballs. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think he's been mostly on the bench this season. I don't know if was he on the farm at all. I haven't really kept up with transactions that much, but I saw he'd only appeared in 10 games so far, according to Delta Graphs anyway. But
I think it may have, you know what, at this point, it might have been injuries.
I think it might have been. I think it might have been something in spring training. But
Maybe because he is a competent hitter. I mean, he's not a superstar, but he's definitely an addition to a lineup.
yeah, a couple of he had a 22 home run season with the Phillies. He had close to 20 quite often, led the team in RBIs at least twice. I mean, that was during the dark rebuild times we don't talk about, but still on the Eagles, Asamura is having a tough season, currently batting 208 with a 301 on base and is worth almost a full -1 WAR according to
Oof.
Delta Graphs. So, yeah, that's a big downgrade from last year when he was kind of carrying the team, especially during those tough stretches. Ryosuke Tatsumi, Hiroto Kobukata, and Yuya Ogo have basically been the life of the offense, with everyone else just kind of being serviceable, just doing the best they can. If you guys remember last season with Lotte, they brought in Mike Brasso kind of halfway through.
Right. Yeah. Poor guy, like signed, suddenly appears 12 hours later, bleary eyed and Chiba.
Yeah. So maybe try and do that, but with, not immediately plugging him into a Rakuten lineup, try and get a new foreign bat just to see if it can jumpstart an offense, maybe. I was looking at the existing free agents with major league experience, and Kyle Lewis is only 28 and a former rookie of the year. Kind of right there. But just having fun. I mean, for Austin Meadows is available. Raimel Tapia could be fun because he's base path menace, basically.
And a good
Darren,
contact hitter in the outfield, too. Like, no disrespect to Kobukata and Shimauchi, but I can imagine Tatsumi wouldn't mind having a bit more defensive help out there.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, Gene Segura is available. Darren Ruff has experience playing in Korea, so I mean, not the same, but it shows that he's willing to, adapt to different circumstances. He's kind of up there at 37 and just having some real fun. I mean, Evan Longoria is still not officially retired at the age of like 39 or whatever he
Ooh,
is.
please. I would love that. Oh my god.
Rongoria.
Dude, he's got a name made for marketing over there. I'm just saying, like, sell a big one of those big cheering towels with that on there. Be a lot of
Yeah,
fun, but
I'd buy
it's just
that.
No,
I'm
no,
sure, I'm
wait.
sure they've reached out
The
to.
Marine should sign him. That way it'd be Lotteria.
Dear God, we need to submit this in writing. We need to. Who who do I call?
Ghostbusters? I don't know.
I want the rights.
I need pictures of Spider-Man.
Get out of my
But
head, man.
I was just having some fun with that. I mean, maybe they add another foreign batter at some point. Maybe they don't. I'm sure they've reached out to everybody that is available, but there's some fun to be had there. But that's all I got for Rakuten.
I think the one thing about the foreign batter is that they would need to send down one of either Michael Franco or one of their foreign pitchers in Sung Cha Hao, not happening. Nick Turley, probably not happening. Cody Ponce, not happening. So
You
I was
sure
not
they don't
aware
want to
they had the
send
three.
Ponce down?
For some reason, I thought they only had two pitchers and just Franco. I don't know where my mind went.
Ponce
it's
has not
because
been good this
everyone
year.
forgets Sung Cha Hao is Taiwanese because he's
Oh.
been in
Must have
Japan
been.
so long.
Probably.
But so that brings us over to the fifth place team. Our defending champions still struggling to get their way out of the bottom half. The Oryx Buffaloes. Take it away, Gabe.
Good news, in 8 of the 9 interleague games so far, the Buffaloes have allowed 3 runs or fewer. Bad news. The record is still 4-5 in interleague. They got the series win against the Bay Stars. Great to see. But that Dragon series at Kyocera Dome was frustrating. Every game was 2-1. The ultimate dome versus dome, noodle offense versus noodle offense matchup. Compounding matters is the fact that the hole the Buffaloes are in is getting worse. No team in Pacific League history has come back from being 9 games below 500 to win the pennant. The Buffaloes were at that point before this Baystar series. Either the Buffaloes become the first, or we gotta settle for a road postseason game and just make the climax series. Only 7 back, I think. And
I
you
mean, it's
really do have to look at
doable.
the offense as the primary reason why this team is not mustering up any kind of forward momentum. The home run leaders are Leandro Cedeno with 7 and Yuma Tongu with 4. Mori's stuck at 1. The new free agent signing Nishikawa's stuck at 1, and his OPS isn't over 600 yet. Mune's OPS is under 600. There's a lot of fingers to be pointed at with why this team is having a sputtering offense. Fukuda and Nakagawa and Kudebayashi can only do so much. Minor plaudits, though. I'm hoping this is a sustainable breakout. Ryo Ota is slashing 284, 336, 382 in 32 games. 3 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run, and 18 RBI. Please let this be the year he becomes the phenom. I want this in my very soul.
Yeah, I mean, if he can sustain that, then the rest of the team gets around to playing well in the latter half of the season, or maybe even next season. Both of us could be right back on top. But yeah, hopefully Ota can keep on developing there.
I mean, there's no shame in having an offseason, developing some guys and just like saying flush it. I just hope Satoshi Nakajima, the manager, isn't getting thrown under the train at this point. He's been the reason why the Buffaloes have been 3-time Pacific League pennant winners. More so than Yamamoto and Yoshida, I'd argue. He sets the right tone in the locker room. I hope his seat is not getting warm.
And speaking of seats that got warm, I mean, then the guy had to get off it. Our last place team, the Saitama Seibu Lions, having not the worst interleague possible, going 3-6, but they just came off an absolutely devastating sweep from the Akud Swallows, losing all 3 games by either wide margins or just in the last moments. And it's just so emblematic of how the season's gone so far. Mostly amazing starting pitching, not a lot of offense, and then even when they do get offense, the other team just comes around and snatches it right out of them at the end of in the 9th inning. I don't really have anything really else to add other than let's just I hope Himura and everyone else keeps developing. But congrats to Takumi Kuriyama on becoming the 15th player in MBB history to hit 400 doubles. So that's pretty good. I mean, good for him.
A
But yeah,
storied
it's
career for Kuriyama, right up there with Takeya Nakamura as the elder statesman of the Lions lineup. Again, can't rely on those guys. Someone else has got to swing the bat.
Yeah, it's just I've said great starting pitching, struggles on offense, and then bullpen implosions all year long. It's not surprising. The only thing, the most surprising thing is that they've won 3 games in interleague so far. But so brings us to the end of our Around the Horn, and let's kick it right over to our familiar faces in new places. Gabe, how are boys doing stateside?
I only have one news story on that. Shohei Ohtani, the man, the myth, the legend, becomes the second Japanese-born player to reach 100 career home runs and 100 career stolen bases in Major League Baseball. The only other guy to do it, Ichiro Suzuki. It's not enough that the guy can pitch and hit home runs and win MVPs. He's a base-stealing threat too?
Yeah, and Ichiro was he was pretty good, pretty solid at the whole baseball thing. So that's pretty good company, I'd say.
If I'm not mistaken, Ichiro is actually on the Cooperstown ballot next year or 2025.
Oh, if he doesn't get 100, I'm gonna be pissed. Or at least like 90.
Oh, he's first ballot for sure.
Well, first ballot for sure. I just need him to have over like 95%, or else I consider that invalid. And so that brings us around to our question of the day, from us to you and us to ourselves. If you were an MPB mascot, what animal would you be? Now, I have a question I want to clarify here. Are you asking which mascot would I be? Or if I were my own mascot and I made my own thing, what would I be?
The latter.
I would. I think I'd be sort of like a bull kind of thing, like a Benny the Bull for the Chicago Bulls. But then does that make me like an Oryx mascot? Or like, can I be the Fukuoka Bull?
You can
Maybe I'll
always
be a
like,
mascot for the farm team or something like that. Well, that could be fun. That'd
yeah,
be a
that
fun
could be
little thing.
interesting. I mean,
There we go.
there's
What
always
about
the
you, Gabe?
option of like doing a corporate mascot too. One of those guys who
Oh,
shows up for a sponsored game sort of thing.
true. Or I could be like the mysterious fish and just kind of come out sometimes for certain things. Yeah, that could be fun.
For me, I would be a chameleon
Ooh.
because you notice me, I can cheer for just about any single team in the midnight matinee. I have jerseys of all the NPB clubs, especially all the Pacific League ones. Guys, I got a Tuffy Rhodes jersey coming my way. Kintetsu
Ooh.
Road. I can't wait.
Oh, that's awesome. And what about you, Mike?
So
It
when
is a
I
weird
first read
question.
it on the notes, I was thinking, now follow me here, an armadillo because they roll up, right? Like into a
Ooh,
ball,
that's
and then
cool.
you
Roll with
paint it
that.
like a baseball on the back.
Oh,
See, marketing genius here.
No
that's
kidding.
amazing. I love that.
Find me a
Oh, you
minor
could be
league
the
team that needs a
Hokkaido
mascot.
armadillo. I don't know why that fits for me. I think that's a great idea.
Heck, that sounds like it could easily be like a Japanese team name. Amarillos.
I gotta start writing
So
these
yeah.
things down.
So I think that's a very fun question. I'm looking forward to how the viewers respond. And as always, thank you very so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe and all that YouTube stuff. And we'll see you again next week on the podcast. Take care.